Welcome to The Success Face, a YouTube channel dedicated to exploring the challenges and triumphs of leadership. In today's video, we will be discussing the topic of When I Say No, I Feel Guilty by Manuel J. Smith. This is a common struggle for many leaders, as we often feel the need to please others and meet their expectations. However, it is important to remember that setting boundaries and saying no is a crucial part of effective leadership. We hope that this video will provide you with some helpful insights and strategies for overcoming this common challenge. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the topic of When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. Nobody's life is without issue. Everybody runs into roadblocks at some point. Humans have an innate, survival-based, fight or flight response when they feel threatened, just like other animals do. In contrast to creatures, be that as it may, people in struggle have another adapting ability: the capacity to communicate solutions to issues. However, people frequently exhibit anger, aggression, fear flight, or depression withdrawal in response to threats, challenges, or intimidation. When compared to verbal assertive problem solving, these earliest coping mechanisms pale in comparison. Unfortunately, many people don't use this skill as well as they could or haven't learned how to use it. You can con someone into doing something, you can manipulate someone, and you can assertively say what you want someone to do, but you can't always control the behavior of another adult, says the author. Your parents tried to control your behavior from the time you could walk and talk. They frequently used emotional manipulation to make you feel anxious, ignorant, or guilty about your actions. They didn't plan to be mean, and they were likely uninformed about the effect of their words on the grounds that their folks brought them up the same way. For instance, your mother might say to you, "Only bad children leave their toys out to make a mess," if you left your toys on the floor. You felt guilty, anxious, and a little bit afraid as a result of this. She should have just said, "I want you to pick up your toys, even though I know you don't feel like it," rather than assigning a good or bad label to your behavior. This would have been better. A bill of assertive rights. People may try to get you to do what they want in your daily life, whether at work or at home, by making you feel nervous, ignorant, or guilty. You will feel frustrated, irate, or depressed if you allow them to push you around or if you withdraw from them. Self-respect and a sense of personal responsibility are forfeited when you allow others to direct your actions. Knowing that no one can manipulate your emotions or behavior if you don't allow it to happen, is the first step in resolving the issue. Follow the Bill of Rights, which lays out the fundamentals of healthy, non-manipulative relationships at home and in the workplace. You have the right to judge your own behavior, thoughts, and feelings, and you bear the burden of initiating and sustaining them. You have the right to not provide any justifications for your behavior, the statement reads. If you are in charge of finding solutions to other people's problems, you have the right to judge. You are entitled to reconsider your decision. You are entitled to make mistakes and take responsibility for them. You are entitled to say, "I don't know." Before dealing with them, you have the right to be independent of their goodwill. You have the right to make decisions without thinking things through. You are entitled to state, "I don't understand." You are entitled to say, "I don't care." Rights in relationships. The first assertive right, which is the ability to evaluate one's own behavior, serves as the foundation for all subsequent rights. You create a barrier against being manipulated when you become your own judge rather than listening to others. Rather than an external system of rights and wrongs, or a set of rules that people use to manipulate your emotions by making you believe that you are supposed to act, think, feel, and behave a certain way, you base your judgments on your values. When someone tries to control you, they are conveying the message that they are in charge of your actions and not you. The belief that you must abide by their rules serves as the foundation for non-assertive but manipulative behavior. If you believe this, you open yourself up to a wide range of manipulations. Communication is that glue that keeps people together as a relationship grows into a channel of mutual support, advice, productivity, exhilaration, and fulfillment, according to the article. Assuming you feel that you ought to work on your way of behaving as per others' inconsistent norms, they can compel you into giving justifications for why you do the things you do. As a result, you are open to criticism from others. Don't justify your actions to others and give them a chance to decide if they're right or wrong. They have the assertive option of telling you that they disagree with what you are doing. Then, you have a choice. Ignore them, make concessions, or alter your behavior. You were taught to feel anxious, ignorant, and guilty as soon as you could understand what your parents told you. Relationships are built on the basis of communication. You can learn about another person's values, expectations, likes, and dislikes through assertive communication. People give you free information about their interests, needs, and choices in life as you get to know them. Asking them questions will entice them. As a result, other people are able to talk about themselves more easily. This kind of communication is a necessary social skill. Broken record. Recognizing your assertive rights is not sufficient. You must also be able to respond to them. The broken record response is one strategy. When asked to do something they don't want to do, most people say no at first but then give in and say yes. Simply repeat what you want to say without offering any explanations or justifications to use the broken record strategy. Consider the following scenario, for instance. When someone reduces your ability to be your own judge of what you do, you are being manipulated. The salesperson. Your kids will get better grades if you buy this great encyclopedia. The prospect. I understand, but I don't care. The salesperson. You don't understand or would like to purchase it for your children. How old are they? The prospect. I understand, but I don't care. The salesperson. What do you mean you won't even respond to one of my questions? The prospect. I can empathize with your feelings, but I'm not interested. Salesman. I'll leave if you don't want to talk to me. By simply imposing our own arbitrary structure upon the relationship that outlines what the rules of right and wrong are, and how things should really be, we can easily find things to criticize. When you do not want something, you are not required to respond to questions or provide an explanation. If the other person responds assertively, you can address the real problem at hand while still maintaining your self-respect. Fogging, negative accusation, and negative inquiry. Critics frequently use criticism to coerce you into acting in accordance with their arbitrary standards and rules. The majority of people respond to criticism with defensiveness, denial, and anxiety. You can begin to separate your behavior from imposed, right or wrong labels if you learn how to deal with criticism. For instance, the statement, "You're always tinkering with your car," implies that working on your vehicle in your spare time is unethical or lazy. "I don't understand. What is it about me working on my car that bothers you?" is your response. If the response is something along the lines of, "I'd prefer we visit friends this afternoon," you have identified the issue's core. They can make us feel guilty without even talking about it when our husbands, wives, or lovers are unhappy about something. The verbal survival strategies you can use to manage analysis are misting, negative request, and negative statement. Try fogging, in which you agree only with what is true in the statement, as an alternative to responding to criticism with denials or counterattacks. When you fog, you have to pay close attention to what someone is saying, respond to what they say rather than what they mean, and think in terms of probabilities rather than absolutes. Fogging is demonstrated in this dialogue. We surrender to them our dignity and self-respect, the responsibility for governing our own existence, and the control over our own behavior if we have the same expectations about ourselves as our manipulators do. The critic. "I see you are wearing your typical messy way." The fogger. "That is correct. I'm dressed the same way I always am." The critic. "These shorts. They appear to have been taken from a homeless person by you." The fogger. "Aren't they a little wrinkled?" The critic. "The shirt, too. All of your taste must come from your mouth." The fogger. "True. I don't have an excellent design sense." Behavior control is not behavior compromise reached between two people. When you make a mistake, people may criticize you, but you can avoid feeling guilty by changing your ingrained reaction. Assertively accept the negative to deal with errors. The critic. "You said you would put the file on my desk before you left on Friday so I could work on it over the weekend, but you didn't." In response, "I am truly sorry. I was stupid to do that. What will you do now?" The critic. "I'm in a tough spot because of your carelessness." In response, "You are correct. I completely forgot you asked me for the file." Compromises don't need to be reasonable to be helpful. They only need to work. The critic is encouraged to respond assertively rather than manipulatively when negative inquiry is used. Make use of this verbal strategy to inquire further about the criticism. For example, Pundit. "You don't look very nice in your shirt." In response, "What is it about my shirt that makes me appear unprofessional?" Pundit. "Well, you don't look very good in it." In response, "What else about me makes you unhappy?" The critic. "Well, you frequently talk." In response, "Please explain this to me." "You believe that I talk too much?" The critic. "Yes, you talk, but you don't believe what I say." In response, it appears that you are implying that I am insensitive. Is that correct? The critic. That's all. You lack empathy. However, not now. Different types of relationships. You can use different words to deal with manipulation, but the fundamental verbal skills you use to deal with manipulation remain the same. Three types of relationships exist. Commercial or formal, these relationships are clearly defined, even to the point where they have a written contract, just like a buyer and seller's relationship. Authority means that one person has authority while the other person does not. Equality means that both parties are the same. Connections among friends, roommates, co-workers, or spouses are examples of this kind of relationship, which has the least formal structure. We must accept the possibility that changing our minds is healthy and normal in order to be in touch with reality and to promote our own well-being and happiness. Because of the structured nature of commercial relationships, it can be easier to use assertive verbal skills. In relationships based on authority that also have structure, it's important to find compromises that build on the current interpersonal dynamic. Try to stay away from communicating manipulatively in the past. In this location, Mike engages in assertive conversation with his boss, who has been profiting from Mike's willingness to step in at the last minute. Thank you for watching our video, When I Say No, I Feel Guilty, on the Success Face YouTube channel. We hope that you found the discussion on this topic helpful and that it gave you some insights into how to better manage feelings of guilt when you need to say no. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your own needs and boundaries, and it's important to practice self-care and set limits in order to maintain a healthy and balanced lifestyle. If you have any further questions or would like to share your own experiences on this topic, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to us. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.